Shut down your workstation and leave, my manager demanded. So I did and shut down the only terminal linked to the client's live feed. He returned from his lunch to find the client and the coup in the office. The coup whispered, "Their product launch is in 2 hours. Why is the system offline?" I knew something was off the second I saw his shadow cross the frosted glass of my cubicle wall. It was barely 11 a.m. and my manager, Tom, had that hurried, clipped walk he only used when he was about to swing his weight around. He didn't bother with good mornings or small talk. Instead, he stopped at the edge of my desk and said, flat and cold, "Shut down your workstation and leave no explanation, no context, just an order." Now, in a normal office, that might mean grab your bag, take an early lunch, maybe we're having an impromptu fire drill, but this wasn't a normal office, and Tom wasn't the type to do favors. My desk wasn't just a desk. It was the only terminal directly linked to our biggest client's live feed, a high-security connection that streamed real-time product data, monitored inventory and coordinated distribution for a launch that had been in the works for months. I didn't say anything right away, just looked up at him. His jaw was tight, like he was daring me to challenge him. "You heard me," he added, crossing his arms. "Do you want me to log out of the monitoring software or actually power down the system?" I asked deliberately slow. He rolled his eyes. "Don't play games. Full shutdown." Now I could have asked why. Could have reminded him the COO had been checking in daily on this project, but years of working under Tom had taught me that reasoning with him was like trying to teach a brick to swim. So I just nodded. Turned back to my screen and began the shutdown sequence. The secure console flickered through its warnings, disconnecting live stream, terminating processes, severing data feed. Each confirmation prompt felt heavier than the last. It took less than 60 seconds to pull the plug on months of careful setup. The screen went black. The terminal fan wound down to silence. It was done. I logged the action in the system audit client feed terminated per manager instruction, no flourish, no commentary, just a fact that would stay there forever, leave your badge on the desk. Tom said. I took it off my lanyard and set it down. "Am I coming back?" I asked. He smirked. "We'll see. Take the rest of the day. I'll handle things from here." He didn't wait for me to pack my bag, just turned and strode off toward the elevator. I watched him go. My mind already turning over the decision he'd just made. Tom had never liked that I was the only one trusted with a live feed terminal. I built the system from scratch when the client signed with us a secure connection no one else in the department knew how to maintain. I documented everything, of course, but the COO had insisted the live feed remain in my control for security reasons. Tom called it territorial. I called it keeping a $2 million contract from collapsing. He didn't understand the stakes, or maybe he didn't care. I took my time gathering my things. My phone buzzed with a couple of Slack pings, random chatter about lunch plans. Out of habit, I checked the feed status on my personal device, even though I already knew what I'd see offline. Completely dark, Tom wouldn't notice the difference immediately. He'd head to lunch. Probably brag to someone about finally taking control of the feed, but I knew exactly what would happen next. The client had a major product launch in 2 hours. Their marketing campaign was synchronized with the live feed their distributors, standing by for green light signals only the system could send. Every minute offline was a minute closer to chaos. I walked past the reception desk, keeping my pace steady, heading out early. The receptionist asked something like that, I said, with a small smile. The elevator doors closed behind me, and for a brief moment, I considered going home and letting the chips fall where they may, but the truth was, I wanted to see it. I wanted to be there when Tom's decision detonated in real time. So instead of heading for the street, I went down one floor to the small cafe that overlooked the lobby, ordered a coffee, sat by the window with a perfect view of our office entrance. 25 minutes later, Tom returned from lunch. His tie was loose, his phone in one hand, coffee in the other. He looked relaxed, like a man who thought he'd just made a big power move. He didn't see them at first, the client rep in her tailored navy suit, the COO standing beside her, both faces tight with urgency. They were waiting for him right in front of the reception desk. I couldn't hear their words from the cafe, but I didn't need to. I saw the COO lean in, his voice sharp enough to cut glass and. "Their product launches in 2 hours. Why is the system offline?" Tom froze mid-step. The coffee in his hand wobbled, and I just sat there sipping mine, knowing this was only the first crack in what was about to be a very public collapse from my spot in the cafe. I watched Tom's expression shift. It started with confusion, his head tilting slightly, brows drawn together, then the first flicker of realization, the COO wasn't just stopping by for a friendly chat. The client rep leaned in, her gestures sharp, clipped, her phone was in her hand, the screen angled toward him like proof in a courtroom. I could almost imagine the headlines scrolling across her mind. "Critical system, offline, launch in jeopardy." Tom's mouth moved, forming words I couldn't hear. He held his hands out in that half-open way he used when he wanted to look cooperative, but was really just stalling. The coup's reply was short, his posture stiff, chin down, eyes locked on Tom's face like he was reading a confession. Then he turned toward the elevators. Tom hesitated, then followed, still trying to talk, the client rep trailing behind them. I didn't have to guess where they were going. The server room was on the same floor as my old desk. I stirred my coffee slowly, letting the steam curl into the air. It wasn't gloating, not yet, just watching a situation unfold exactly the way I knew it would. By the time I went back upstairs, the energy in the office had shifted. You can feel it when something's wrong. Conversations drop to a murmur. People glance toward closed doors. The air feels thinner. Somehow, two of the junior analysts were huddled near the printer, speaking in low voices. One of them spotted me and straightened. "Hey, I thought you left," she said. I grabbed a coffee. I replied, keeping my tone even what's going on. They exchanged a look. "The feed's down." The other one whispered, "The client's here. Tom's in the server room with the COO, and they don't look happy." I gave a small sympathetic nod, the kind you give when you're pretending to be surprised. Through the glass walls of the conference room, I caught sight of Tom pacing, hands on his hips.